Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still having a Han national movement that is trying to secede, doing their level best. Okay, they have finally reached 100% activism, so... And there it goes. So, I'm just going to bring in the Army of East Africa to deal with the situation. I don't anticipate any difficulties here. We are still using some out-of-date equipment, but I don't think there's any tank plants in this area, so... what event is this? The Juku garrison refuses order. Ordered to violently suppress a popular riot in Juku, a battalion of the Northern Anhui garrison, have refused their orders, claiming that the execution of such a command would run contrary to the laws of man and God alike. Patriotism? I'll gladly raise my rifle against the enemies of the Kingdom of France. Should the Ottoman Turks come knocking, I'll do my duty, as shall we all. But to raise arms against kin, against brothers in blood and faith, sir, this we cannot do. Insubordination, string up the ringleaders and jail the rest. 10% of servicemen pops in Northern Anhui become more radical. 2% of officers become more loyalist. Throw some devastation in there. Or, hush this down, we shall rotate the garrison eventually. Reduce training rate, armed forces, salty. Well, I'm going to do the first one. I'm not in Northern Anhui at the moment, so they can, I don't need to deal with this. Can I see the name of the city here? Is this the... Perhaps I'm in... Oh, I think it's because we're in the violence view. So I can't see the right things. Alright, so I guess we're gonna finish out all the other constructions after the war. Because they're the ones in Nanjing and Suzhou, which we are holding. Which is interesting. We managed to keep a lot of this territory, which is good. Our North China interest has become deactivated, so we'll simply declare it again. Hey, that's not North China. Gosh dang it. Industrialists petition government. Representing his constituents in the Industrialists, Bartholomé de Langle de Carry has issued a formal petition to the French government to pass landed voting. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Well, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure I can spare the last hours of light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They weren't taking no for an answer. We'll see what we can do. Expect to pass landed voting. Offer them wealth voting as a compromise. Or they must understand the situation does not allow for this. Minus 15 legitimacy. Industrialists angry by 8. Okay. So let's take a real look at this. If I go to wealth voting, most people would prefer that. The petite bourgeoisie and the Catholic Church would not. But they're quite weak. And the petite bourgeoisie aren't in the government anymore. So, before we make this decision, what would this change the legitimacy of the government by? Can I see? I don't think it's going to let me. Minus 36. Well, full steam ahead, lads. Wealth voting. We're going back, we're restoring the July Constitution. Shabamzo. Who's in charge over there? They're Orleanists. That's why they want wealth voting. Oh, that's very funny. I should go offer them free trade. Or no, we're already in free trade. Never mind. I know why we couldn't offer them free trade. It's because I'm a big dumbass. Alright, so forced comparison looks really solid here. I'm not worried about that situation. Again, insufficient construction for the construction pool. Once we're done doing 1 million government constructions at the same time, there will be sufficient construction for the construction pool. So I'm going to leave that be for now. I should now have my protectorates all going down in Liberty Desire, including Ashanti. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce Greece's autonomy. Overlord actions. Decrease autonomy. And we'll reduce their subject payments. Shabamzo. And now they'll be even happier. Yeah, there we go. Now they'll want to be free even less. Wonderful. I'm so good at ruling a power block. Let's just take a quick look over here. Yep, everything looks chill. Again, Ashanti is oh, they're actually going up a little bit. Let's fund some lobbies. To arms. Truthfully, I'm a little bit surprised that China didn't get involved. Oh, China can't get involved in this because I've got a truce with them. Oh, that's extremely funny. Oh. If I could have held on just a little longer, then China would have been able to assist their own people gaining freedom from me. But 'twas not to be. 'Twas not to be. We unlocked film. Excellent. Time to make movies! The French film industry will lead the everythings. Oh, right. I can go to mobile warfare tactics. Haha, so smart and good at video games. Jabamzo. Again, I don't actually need to go to telephone switchboards for every government sector in the country. Now, war support. They are losing war support slowly. I am losing war support even slower. Alright, cool. So, it's changing because I'm winning battles and taking territory. Alright, beautiful. Trampled underfoot. A demonstration organized by the Han National Movement in Algiers has been violently dispersed by police, leading to several fatalities and serious injuries. Memories of the incident have become a rallying cry for distance. He'd been smiling when he ordered his horse through the crowd. His expression was etched in her mind as if by acid on a metal plate. What kind of a man could maintain such a hideous serenity amongst the screams, the broken bones, the spurts of blood? As people fled around him, he had ordered his officers forward, and then what? Amidst the blur of human terror, she'd found herself sheltering in a haphazardly shuttered bar. Many others had not been so lucky. When she walked through the place where the demonstration had been held, she could not tell how many of the people sprawled across the flagstones were still moving. Censure the officers available. 2% of pops in Algiers become more radical. Armed forces unhappy. Or, they were ordered to disperse. The police are not to blame. 10% of pops in Algiers become more radical. Armed forces happier. How happy are the armed forces? They're extremely happy. Censor the officers. Ah, such a good king. Oh, so good at taking the needs of my people into account. Alright, so we're not building anything, we're letting the private sector handle the construction queue, and that's draining the investment pool significantly, and that's fine. Law progressed to consideration. Wonderful. Perhaps wealth voting shall be the order of the day soon. Let me check my mobilization options. I feel like I should have... Oh, you know what? Let's look around with airplanes. Oh my goodness, I never enabled the rest of my methods for the Army of Central Africa. Oh, that's so smart. Oh, so good. So smart and good at video games. Alright, so now, let me take a quick look at the market for airplanes. Airplanes are quite expensive, but I should have an automotive industry. One of my automotive industry buildings is producing them, is it not? Yes, I have one building producing airplanes. It's the one in Guyane, and it should be experiencing massive profits. Well, it's doing its best. It's increasing in employment, so that's good. To support that, let's go ahead and increase... Well, first of all, let's get rid of these old ships. Let's increase the size of the Northern Squadron. And as part of that, we'll throw some carriers in there. For the Mediterranean Squadron, we will do the same. They won't be all in the Mediterranean, I suppose. And then for the Third French Fleet, I guess we'll leave them where they are, because I don't have any more... Well, no, actually, North Africa is incorporated territory, so let's build... some buildings there as well. Alright, now I'm having an event. Oh my god, I'm having an event? The Ace Officer, Elie de Persigny, has gained renown not only merely for utilizing aircraft in battle, but even for flying one himself over the skies of Jiangsu. The papers are calling him the Wild Wind. He's astounding. I can't tell if it'd be better to parade him around at home or keep sicking him on everyone in Jiangsu. Hero worship will help domestically. He becomes way more popular and war support increases by 10. That's not really helping us. Or, war heroes need to stay in the war. He gets 30 offense. I'm going to go with the second one. That's great. That's just great. Alright. So, how's progress? Their capital is in Shandong, right? It should be. Yeah. Alright, so we're making our way downtown, as it were. Organization's a little low because I changed up my military mobilization methods, but you know, these things happen. And now Northern Anhui is under my control. And then finally Shandong will be under my control, and that will be well. And then those areas should have a temporary reduction in a huge reduction in radicalism on account of a bunch of the radicals died in the Civil War. That's often the effect of having a civil war in an area. And as you can see, we have a bunch of forts built indicating our occupation. Achievement unlocked, be prepared. That's cool. I wonder what caused that. Now we do still have violent suppression. One charter's above charter limits. That's weird. I don't think I need the violent suppression in Shuzhou anymore. Oh my gosh, we're low on infrastructure here again. Gosh dang it. Why does this always happen? Okay, I guess maybe I do still need the suppression decree. But only for a second. And that's the secession crushed. Controversial friends. The attendance of Alphonse Normand, who is a liberal movement Democrat aligned with the intelligentsia, at a radical pro-reform association's meeting in Paris, has raised public awareness of the association and made police action against it significantly harder. The official looked at the document on his desk with some shock, looking at the name of the group which he had proudly claimed to sponsor the last demonstration. That hateful and most certainly suppressed group, paired with the name of that bothersome Normand, had been responsible for so many difficulties over the past years. He frowned and turned to his neighbor. Did we not already make the warrant against these people public? Perhaps it is time to grant them our sanction, increased enactment success chance, increased universal pop strength, or the view of the public is not an excuse. 5% of middle stardom pops in Ile-de-France become more radical. I'm going to do the first one. Enactment success chance is good. The Catholic Church is no longer happy, so they're... Oh, wait. No, hold on. How is their ability active? They're under 4%. They're under 5%. That's curious. I wonder what's caused them to become active again. Because the landowners are not active, nor are the rural folk. It's quite curious. I'm not sure what to make of it. Private sector is building some synthetics plants, which is nice. And all of the stuff that was under construction in these other territories should flow back into my queue. Do they not? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! They've bumbled everything. So first, I need to build more railways. Then I need to build more... No, I don't need to build more taxation capacity. We're short. We need to fix up the methods. We need to fix up the methods. That's the issue. Hold on. Reset production methods. Bam, bam, bam. Now we give it a second for them to sort out their employment and whatnot. And then we'll go back in and see what things are looking like. And these ones in Shuzhou will get done within a reasonable time frame. Alright, so it's been a couple weeks now. Let's take a quick look over here. We're mostly good on taxation capacity. We need a little bit more of that. Taxation capacity, we're fine. Jiangsu, taxation capacity, we're fine. But we need more infrastructure. Let me see. 30 infrastructure per level. We're going to need 4. I think I hit 5, but that's fine. We're going to need... Wow. I'll go with a nice even 10 over here. Wait, before we do. No, they're still coming employed. We'll build 5, in addition to what the private sector is building. These ones are also employing more. And then here in Shandong, infrastructure is okay. Tax capacity is a little short, and we are already building those up, so that'll be alright. That'll be alright. That'll be just fine. Now, standard of living is really low, probably because of unemployment. Power cap is insufficient. We'll throw in a little bit more of that. Power is good here. And are we still subsidizing the power plants in these areas? We are. And what about here? Here power is okay. Alright. Alright, beautiful. Feeling good. Feeling good about the whole China situation. We are, however, having a little bit of electricity shortages in France, as well as in Africa. Picardie. Oh, the only one in France is Picardie. How much more power do we need? We have 6 levels of power. Oh, right. These only produce 30 now. Oh my gosh. I've been operating on the 50 model in my head for so long. I've just completely borked it. All right. Let's build up. Let's build up to 15 levels here. All right. Now that I've gotten that fixed in my head, Gambia. Gambia is here. Yes. How short are we in power? Pretty short. Let's build 7 levels. Bring up to a nice even 10. Fez, off in North Africa. Local price of power is 600. Let's throw a nice even 10. We'll do 11 levels in there. That'll get us up to a reasonable point. Uganda. So once again having... Oh, there's a significant power shortage there. So we'll throw in 10 levels. We'll also subsidize the power plants. That'll make sure they're producing. And then... Volta. Oh man, it's been a minute since we've taken a look at Volta. Volta also needs 10 levels of power plants. Subsidize! Alright. And Dahomey. Dahomey needs 1 more level and subsidies. I wonder if I made a mistake with... I think I may have accidentally turned off subsidies in some of these areas, because I could have sworn I was subsidizing for a while. And then Kasai, I can't do anything about this. Is Kasai in a population crunch? They're not. Yeah, I can't figure out what's going on in Kasai, friends. Let's throw some iron mines and some logging camps into construction here. And hopefully that'll sort things. Come on, wealth voting. Why are we short on airplanes? We're producing a bunch of airplanes. There's a cent. Do we need another one producing... No, we don't. We need to double the size of the one that already exists. What's the balance on airplanes? We're short 200. Yeah, we need to double this. Double the one in Guyenne. That'll get everything we need built. And what about China? In China, there is still wicked low standards of living with seemingly no path to increasing them. Let's go to hand assembly on these tooling workshops. Same as we've done. And we'll go to traditional. We'll go to handwork on the textile industry as well. And again, the goal here is just like maybe having more people employed will be better for the standard of living, is my hope. But again, we seem to have a hard time like getting people employed in these areas, right? Like, see, why are you now pretending to be less profitable? The Prussian flu. A massive outbreak of an especially deadly strain of flu has broken out in Prussian Anhalt. It threatens to spread rapidly, potentially escalating into a Sir, please. I'm trying to... There we go. All right. Thank you. A global pandemic. The epidemic of influenza, like the specter of death, was upon us almost overnight, and 3 days after the disease was made reportable by the Board of Health, our hospital was full to overflowing with victims of the pestilence. I hope it doesn't reach the Kingdom of France. The virus may spread to the Kingdom of France via neighboring states or common markets. Stop the presses. A newspaper banned under French law has started being printed again under the permissive laws of Switzerland and smuggled across the border. You still have your copyright. I'll pay you half of what you gave it for it in West Switzerland. Her friend reluctantly handed over the paper. You know, my dad says it's all rubbish what it says about the king. Yeah, well, he can't read, can he? We can look the other way just this once. Bunch of interest groups, big mad. Improves relations with Switzerland, or crack down on anyone spreading this filth. Deteriorates relations with Switzerland. Bunch of interest groups happy. I'm going to go with the second one. Internal politics over external politics. But Switzerland, our friends, we will continue to be friends with them. Railways and Shuju are almost done. Airplane shortage, low organization, Escadre du Nord. Why are you low in organization? Because of insufficient command limits. Alright, well, this gentleman can get a promotion, and that should sort that problem. What about Escadre de la Méditerranée is looking good. Very good, in fact. And then Third French Fleet. Is doing its best. So we are still building up a bunch of stuff over here. Let's take another quick pass through. Transportation and electricity are affordable. Northern Anhui, same deal. Jiangsu, same deal. Nanjing, same deal. And Shuju, same deal. So at this point, let me see. We are a little bit low on tax cap, but only a little bit. Wait, did I queue in more railways? I did. I don't need more railways. That is one thing I wish wouldn't happen. Okay, so over here, we need like 5 more tax cap. Over here in Jiangsu, tax cap is good. Over here in Northern Anhui, tax cap is good. And in Shandong, tax cap is alright. Now, we have a few places here that are at their trade capacity. So I'm going to increase trade capacity in these areas. And then anywhere that's not at trade capacity, I will not increase trade capacity. Alright. And again, hopefully that's going to solve some of these problems. Getting trade flowing through these areas is... Alright. Charlotte de Baille has appeared in the Kingdom of France. She supports the feminist movement. We now have wealth voting. Women in the Kingdom of France have begun organizing to campaign for their right to vote in general elections. Charlotte de Baille of the Industrialists has emerged as a leading figure of the movement. If democracy is to live up to its own ideals, it cannot simply be an emulation of ancient republics. It must be an ongoing project, always asking the question, who is not heard? Whose wisdom is discarded? The Kingdom of France has already recognized women as capable of ruling themselves. Why should we not aid in ruling the nation? A worthy cause... Charlotte de Baille becomes a suffragist trailblazer with her extra 50 popularity, and Barthélemy de Langle de Carry, the current leader of the Industrialists, becomes a feminist. Or, sounds like opposition talk, she becomes slightly more popular. I'm going to say a worthy cause, and we'll be based in votes for women pilled. I need a new leader here in this navy. Let me see. These two seem about equivalent, but this one's an Orleanist. So, we'll throw him in there. Can I get someone who's better? Doesn't look like it. This guy's a convoy raider, but that's not that important. Alright. Big promotions for you. And then, so now our leader of the Industrialists is a feminist. That's made our government less legitimate. But it does mean that we can give votes for women. That's going to make the Catholics even angrier. But, you know, fuck them. That's right. I forgot I was going to have to deal with parties. All right. So, well, that's made things very interesting. Democratic Alliance and the Resistance Party. Okay, so the Catholic Church and the Petite Bourgeoisie want to join the Resistance Party. They think they want to join the Resistance Party, but actually they don't, and I'm not going to let them. Oh, we've got an election running. All right. Well, this is going to be Garbo. Oh, actually, no. Democratic Alliance in the hands of the Industrialists is actually going to really probably take this one, particularly if I. Oh my gosh, we got a positivist church as well. Roland Repelin has joined the positivist movement. Maybe we'll go all positivism. Maybe once we're done being feminist, we'll be positivist. Positivist? You? No one believes this. Roland Repelin, a student of the philosophy of positivism, has founded the Positivist Church in the Kingdom of France in Ile-de-France. The church's events have become a meeting place for positivist intellectuals. Pamphlets flitted from hands and into the streets of a new church. One side promises the end of moral anarchy, and the other heralds a new age of emancipation through learning. Armchair scholars, actual scholars, clerks, and bankers alike found a forward-facing ideal, an ideal of progress as a goal, order as a foundation, and love as a governing truth. An intriguing institution, 10% stronger armed forces, extra education access, and radicals from political movements and qualifications. The influence of the positivists will progress by 20, or another eclectic short-lived cult, armed forces, a little stronger, but also salty. Half the other modifiers, only 5 influence. An intriguing institution. It's the 1920s. It's time for a situation. We're based in radical politics, Phil. Where's my, yes, I'm still building those automotive industries in Guyane. Maybe I'll even increase them. We're short on infrastructure here. Well, that's a problem. There we go, that should be plenty. And then we'll throw in another 10 of these. Engaging the people. Laurent Collat has embarked upon a dedicated campaign to organize the poorer urban workers in Rhénanie, shaping them into a cohesive and powerful bloc of pro-FTSF voting bloc. If any man, woman, or child is neglected, abandoned, and left with no voice or hope, how can we say that the French nation is truly civilized? The people of Rhénanie are awakened, extra momentum for the FTSF. 5% of lower stardom pops become more loyal. Rhénanie gets lower class organization for 10 years, minus 20% political strength from wealth. Okay, the strategy should be repeated nationwide. 10% momentum. It affects the whole country. I'm just gonna locate it in Rhénanie for now. So that's gonna get them a whole mess of momentum, but not that much more momentum than before. If I can throw some momentum by way of the Democratic Alliance, they will still gain a solid amount of the vote. Now, let's take a look at infrastructure needs in France, in the metropole. This means we're once again going to have a slowdown here in the game as the game tries to enable this view, which is a very difficult view for it to enable. It's doing its best. Your computer hasn't crashed. My computer has crashed. Or at least it wanted to crash. Alright, so Rhénanie du Nord. We're going to get 3 levels of infrastructure here. Compression ignition. Oh, it's hot and fresh out the kitchen. Lorraine, 3 levels of infrastructure. Picardie, 3 levels of infrastructure. Maine-Anjou, 2 levels of infrastructure. Aquitaine, 2 levels of infrastructure. Guyenne, we already queued in a bunch. Burgundy, 3 levels of infrastructure. And we'll do just a few more anywhere that's a little low. Alright, and that's looking good. Maybe we'll deal with Switzerland at a later point. Campaign financing. Parties, particularly the Resistance Party, are struggling to raise enough funds for all their campaign needs this election season. Let's see what you men are charging. Fees, yes, that's to be expected, but what's this? Lodging charge? That fancy hotel room could house half a village. And there's enough wine billed here to drown a fish. Votes don't come cheap, sir. You do want to win, right? Some money can be spared for the Resistance Party. Wow, that's a lot of money. 10% resistance for them. Every party can be provided with basic funding this election cycle. Even more cash with increased opposition interest group approval. Or, if a party can't afford it campaign, should it be campaigning? Reduce momentum for the Resistance Party. I'm going with that third one, because those guys are the conservatives, and I don't want them to have more momentum. Because we are doing huge liberalism. Suffragists March. Activists led by Barthélemy de Langle de Carry have gathered to protest the lack of voting rights for women in the Kingdom of France. I read about these in the paper, the young man proclaimed. They call them suffragettes, you see. The demonstration, this so-called demonstration, it's sort of like playing at political activism, not unlike what a child might do when they're first taught the workings of a democratic society. It must be understood in such a context. He trailed off. One of the women in the passing crowd had turned to look directly at him. His friends nodded in quiet agreement, but no one said anything else. This protest must be heard. Stronger petite bourgeoisie, intelligentsia, and industrialists will round up and arrest these troublemakers, all those interest groups unhappy. The protest must be heard. That'll be good. Petite bourgeoisie want to join the Resistance Party. Alright, well, that is what it is. How does that impact the election? Not that much. Come on, give me a step forward. Suffrage rally. Rallies in support of women's suffrage law have been taking place around the country, but some of them have been turning violent. Of course, 95% of the protesters are peaceful, but all it takes is one radical element to set things off, and before you know it, we have a whole mob whipped up into a frenzy. Scale back the rallies, increase enactment chance, or we'll risk a little violence. 2/3 chance of increasing enactment chance, 1/3 chance of decreasing enactment chance, and increasing movement pop attraction. I'm just going to say scale back the rallies. I think 10% enactment chance is perfectly fine. With that having been said, we are actually over our time for today, so we are going to have to put a pin in the episode. My nerds, I have had a great time. I hope you have as well, and I will see you on the other side.